So today being a wheel-turning day, so just kind of keep that in mind, yeah, so that whatever we do today, because today's the second day, so then, yesterday maybe the excitement of doing something new, and then today it's like, oh gosh, how many more sessions? Gosh, this is difficult. And you might even start to feel, already some kind of, problems happening in the body or happening in the mind or whatever, which the Tibetans would say that's a very good sign. And there's this story. I mean, it's not a story. I mean, I was there. We have Lama Yeshe's half-brother lives at Tushita, and he's like in his 70s, probably now in his 80s. He doesn't know how old he is. So it's like at that time, he doesn't know the day of his birth or whatever. That didn't seem to be so important to count the numbers of your, the years. So anyway, so he fell. He fell at one point on a wheel-turning day, and he tried to catch himself with his hand, and then his thumb kind of was out here like that. Yeah, so he completely dislocated it. So that's, I think, very painful, I would think. But then if you see, in his mind, it's a wheel-turning day, so he kind of sat there, and he was going, look! And he was so happy, because he said, look, and on a day like this, wow, it's so auspicious. So auspicious. So this whole thing about karma, if you integrate the view of karma in your life, because the problem with us is like, we're not really familiar with that concept that everything we create. We're doing another meditation session. Yeah, but we have to think of other people also, Yeah, okay. Well, nobody would object, that's quite normal if you ask like this, yeah? So it's like, anyway. So, if we have this view that everything that happens to us we have created ourselves, is, it's just a result, then we can really use it. But if we don't use it, if we don't study it, and if it doesn't become, what the view that we have at the moment is that everything that happens to us happens because somebody else is creating that. Yeah? So that comes spontaneously. So then the other view would be that it happens to us. Why? I mean, we see something as pleasant or unpleasant according to our mindset. Yeah? I mean, on a conventional level, we still have to be kind of, reasonable by saying, well, there are conditions outside that can make you upset. On an ultimate level, then there is no condition outside that can make you upset. So we have to take both of those realities kind of into consideration. Otherwise, you just go around and say, well, I can do whatever I want. If people get upset, it's their problem, and it's their karma. And that's not thinking in the right way, right? We try to go through the world without too much self-cherishing, just thinking about ourselves. Kind of, we always have to make decisions. This is our life. And you cannot make decisions where everybody is happy. It's impossible. This is why this existence is called samsara, because we always are kind of not making somebody happy with our decisions. So what we do actually, this is why what I just meant there, when we have to make decisions like this, we look what is more beneficial for more people. Yeah, we never just look. We don't give up the happiness of 10 for the happiness of 1. This is what I mean. Sorry? No, we don't. This is why we have to look upon this on a conventional level. Yeah? And in general, when we do meditation sessions, we do not have children. Okay? That's what I mean. And I thought you had understood yesterday, but seems to me that no. Yeah. Okay. yeah, that's not getting us very far. But anyway, so what is standing in our way is like me also now. I'm not getting what I want, so I'm starting to get upset. Right? You might feel it, that's okay. I mean, this is how we react. I can see definitely this is my self-cherishing. But I'm responsible for this group here. Right? So it's not just me. So, but this is what we do. We don't get what we want, then we get upset. So then other people just ignore it. And that's it. So there's not much not many things I can do. So we'll just have to put up with it. Okay, so you'll have to put up with my upset mind, because I do have a volcano mind. I still have anger, although I'm a nun. At one point somebody asked me, are you allowed to get angry? No, I'm not allowed to get angry. I know it's not a good thing, but I still have self-cherishing, so when I get upset, I get angry, like everybody else. Thank you very much. Okay, so karma, yeah, and self-cherishing. So it is said in the scriptures that every moment of frustration that we have now comes from a situation that we have created when we were self-cherishing. So me getting upset now about not getting what I want, I must have done exactly the same thing to other people in the past. So this is the thing, when we say, I take responsibility, that's fine, but then we have to act upon that, right? So, so it's good to know that whatever happens to us, also when you start doing practices and then you have unpleasant things happening to you, or you even get sick, at one point, then again, it's a good sign that the practice is working, actually, because the dirt is coming out. So what, when this Geshe with his thumb, he was actually saying that must be at least 3 or 4 existences in a hell realm that now is purified, that now is gone. So from our negative karma, when we start to do purification practices, we still have to experience something, yeah? But then it's much smaller. Even the Buddha, at one point he had a splinter in his foot, already having become the Buddha, which came from an action of killing quite a number, from killing one person. But he killed the person in order to protect some others. That was in one of his lives as a bodhisattva. So he killed that person with the motivation, I don't want this person to go to hell, so I take responsibility to go to hell, right? And still, it's still an act of killing, even if it's even if there is a positive motivation. So the result from this negative act was a splinter in his foot, instead of big hell realms like that. Okay, so we shouldn't forget that today, being a wheel-turning day, so if you feel great and inspired, that's fantastic. If you feel grumpy, or some body problems are going on, that's also fantastic. It's good in either way. If you feel great and inspired, we can practice in a better way, right? If there's pain in the body or pain in the mind, we can also practice by thinking, is negative karma ripening, so I can relax, I don't have to practice so hard. So we're not pushing ourselves, right? Kind of when we don't feel so well and we see the mind is not really pulling along, then there's no point kind of wanting to feel inspired and you push and you push and you push, yeah, because nothing will be of benefit. Then you just relax and you do as best as you can, yeah. And even now, also if you are very sick, there's a lot of pain in the body, which can happen in the Medicine Buddha practice. Yeah, that the negative karma for sicknesses ripens very, very quickly. At the beginning, you can feel worse, actually. So then, by being aware of that, we just relax, and if you have to lie down, that's fine. Yeah, or especially if you are sick, something like that. Okay? Okay. So we will meditate a little bit on the self-cherishing. So just relax. And I'm sorry about this unpleasant situation, but this is samsara, it happens, what to do? Sometimes we do make people angry. Even if there's no motivation, then it just happens. As long as we have self-cherishing and we both want two different things, then there's clash, there's conflict. So just relax, let go. So again, we would like to have compassion, but then we also need wisdom. Like the lady said, how do you know how many people he would benefit? I don't know. I don't have clairvoyance. I'm not a Buddha. So we have to act on a conventional level for the moment. So maybe we can think about this quote that we can see in the scriptures. Whatever moments of frustration, not getting what we want, we have at the moment, comes from actions that we did when we were just concerned about our own happiness. Then whatever moments we have when we are happy, content, open, spacious, peaceful, come from moments when we were, or actions when we were more concerned with the happiness of others. So we can't see that, right? We don't see our past lives, what kind of actions we created, and now what the result is. We can't make that connection because we're not clairvoyant. But what we definitely can see is that we all want to have compassion. But you see, again, being compassionate doesn't mean that you say yes to everything what other people want. Kindness doesn't mean you let people do whatever they want to do. That would almost be indifference, when you just let people do whatever they want to do. Because conflicts, clashes are not pleasant, but sometimes we need the courage to go through that. And then as much as possible, it shouldn't be done with self-cherishing. That we really check the situation, what will be of more benefit on a conventional level. To me now, I have a very good example of self-cherishing, because now again, there is peace in my heart, there is space. Before, it started to become very tight. So this is what we talk about, the self-cherishing. There seems to be a separate I that wants something, is not content, is not happy, takes up all the space. It makes the mind very tight and gives us quite a lot of energy. You might have noticed it in my voice. I had to start to control my voice. And I knew what was going on. So I knew I had to be very careful what I said. So the self-cherishing gives us energy, and then it kind of, if we're not careful, we say things that we later regret. Self-cherishing is always present when we do a negative action. Or when a negative emotion is there. Just look, When we're angry, there's no space to think about the other. When we're attached, Very often we do engage in negative actions, like for example stealing or cheating. We don't think about the other person that we cheat. We just think about our own happiness. Or killing. When you kill a mosquito, you have absolutely no thought that this mosquito wants to be happy as well, doesn't want to die. Like probably one of the biggest forms of self-cherishing is sexual abuse. It's not anger, it's desire, greed, wanting pleasure. The self-cherishing is so big that one forgets that another person is involved. Makes you blind. Then of course, when the desire is gone, you feel terrible about this. So you can actually check if you did an action out of self-cherishing, that when the mind becomes calm again, and then when you regret, then it was done out of self-cherishing. When there's no regret, no guilt, then it was probably okay. Maybe, although again it's not pleasant, I know, think about negative actions that you have done in the past and just check what arises. Just check the state of your mind. Then also look what happens when the result comes from a negative action. When somebody's cheating us or lying to us, abusing us with words, or even being physically attacked, what would happen then? Is there space in the heart to be able to understand, to take this as a karmic result? See, the self-cherishing immediately blames the other person. Again, takes up all the space, starts to get angry, frustrated. Gives us the energy to react, very often in a negative way. Self-cherishing refuses to let go, refuses to forgive. Covers our wisdom and our compassion. But as I said, be careful, not everything we want is self-cherishing. See, the self-cherishing is also that little voice who is never content. It always wants more. It's always complaining about something. It's too hot, it's too cold, I'm hungry, I've eaten too much. This is difficult, can't do this. Nobody likes me, nobody loves me, I'm no good. Whenever those thoughts are present, there is no space in our hearts. Our pain becomes cosmic. Our problem is huge. It always wants something. And it always makes promises. Kind of, you're not happy because this and this is lacking. If you get it, you'll be happy. And it's never true. The moment we run out and get it, after a little while it wants something different. It's this if-only voice. You know, if only I had more of this or less of that, I would be happy. It's never true. It's the voice who's always talking but has very little wisdom, doesn't see things in a relative way. It's that thing that makes us feel proud when we're praised, makes us feel depressed when we're criticized. Makes us look down on those who are lower, makes us feel jealous of those who are higher, and makes us compete with those who are equal. All those three minds are uncomfortable minds. So it is said the self-cherishing is the only enemy that we have. It's that one who is throwing us into the lower states because it pushes us to do the negative actions. It's that one who complains and feels miserable when the result of a negative action comes, blames others. So we start to turn things around. We put all the blame on the self-cherishing. And for that you need tremendous self-courage, self-confidence. You need to know what the self-cherishing is. The self-cherishing is not you. It's just a mistaken thought about how we exist. If you don't think, there is no self-cherishing, there is space. The moment the voice comes up, and it's a complaint, it's self-cherishing, the space, the peace is gone. So self-cherishing is the only enemy that we have, and mind training is the only thing to make it go away. So the first step is to see this as our only enemy, to stop listening to the complaining all the time. Or if you listen to the complaining, to start reasoning with it. By seeing how unreasonable it is, completely out of proportion. And by understanding that the self-cherishing, this is not me. It's just the mistaken view that I have about myself. So maybe today, in the other sessions, that session, we're not just requesting for a healthy body. We're especially requesting to kind of cut through that ignorance of believing in that voice who is constantly complaining, blaming others. We ask blessings to be able to see how and who we are, to be able to discover our own true nature as being boundless, limitless, luminous space, which has as natural ingredients love, compassion and wisdom. And for that we definitely need the help of the Buddhas. So to inspire us as kind of the result of our practice, you visualize in the space in front of you or 4 inches above the crown of your head is a lotus flower. Again, maybe just to remind you, lotus symbolizes renunciation. In the center of the lotus is a white moon disk, which symbolizes bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is a mind who has given up self-cherishing, only wants to benefit others. It's an ego that is so strong that it doesn't need anything for him or herself. So we have to be careful, yeah? First you have to develop that very strong, self-confident mind. By seeing if you follow the mind, the needy mind, no matter how much you give it, it will always want more. It's a bottomless pit. Having understood that this self-cherishing is harming us, it's not helping us. Having understood who and what we are, meaning that we are compassion, we are wisdom. It's just covered by the self-cherishing. So then we can start to forget about us. And we're always frightened to make that step. The self-cherishing is always holding us back. Be careful, this is dangerous. You could destroy yourself. You see, really forgetting about yourself, you don't destroy yourself, but you destroy the self-cherishing. And the self-cherishing knows that. That's why it's always warning us, be careful, this is dangerous. Yes, it is dangerous, but only for the self-cherishing. Not for you, as a person. So bodhicitta, symbolized by this moon disk, the cooling rays of compassion, the full moon who cools down the heat of the day. Bodhicitta cools down the fire of suffering, of pain. Then on top of the lotus and moon disk is seated my root guru, the Dharmakaya essence of all the Buddhas in the form of the medicine Buddha. He's blue in color, his body radiates. So if you look at the medicine Buddha, somebody who has completely overcome all self-cherishing, has not one thought about himself. His whole reason to exist is to benefit others. Try to feel that presence of somebody else. Think there is a being there who is only interested in benefiting me, who has lost all self-interest. Try to feel that presence, accepting you just the way you are, with your thoughts, with your qualities, completely equanimous. So this is what we are taking refuge in the result of our practice. Perfected compassion and wisdom manifesting in the form of the blue medicine Buddha. So it's page 3 at the bottom. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma and the Supreme Assembly. Then the 4 immeasurable thoughts, we train the mind to feel that limitlessness that it has. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free. Especially for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will quickly, very quickly, attain the precious state of perfect, complete Buddhahood. For this reason, I will practice the yoga method of Guru Medicine Buddha. I prostrate to Guru Medicine Buddha, each and every offering, including those actually performed, in order to create the merit to be able to realize all this. We offer the mandala. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru. Then again you think about your special requests that you have. You see, the moment we really know what we want and we can make very specific requests, that is really the first step towards actualizing it. So I have to be very precise. What do I want? What do I want to eliminate? What qualities do I want to develop? What kind of person do I want to be? Even how do I want to look? That's fine. The more clear, the less confused you are about this, the more then the power of our own mind can operate so that we can bring about this result. Then when it will happen, this is out of our control. But when we know what we want, then we also know that we have to create the right causes, and we start going into the right direction. So be very specific with your requests. I beseech you, Bhagavan, Medicine Guru, whose sky-colored holy body of love. So we visualize above the crown of the Guru Medicine Buddha, a wish-granting jewel which is in essence your root Guru. Above that is the Buddha, delightful king of clear knowing, whose body is red in color. His right hand is in the moon. And also again, just try to keep this awareness just by reciting the names of those Buddhas. The requests, the wishes that we have made will be actualized by activating the power of prayer, power of promises of those 7 medicine Buddhas. To you, Buddha, renowned, glorious King of excellent science, fully realized, destroyer of all defilements. So now as we go along with the practice and with the mantra, then you can visualize whatever you feel helpful visualizing. Like as I said, either the medicine Buddha in your body, where there is a body problem, or more than one medicine Buddha, still the other medicine Buddha on your crown. Or just light. If you're familiar with the light going down, then coming up, and just going to the middle, then you can do that also. Just don't make it too complicated. Just make it meaningful, and it's quite good actually to have a visualization that is simple. I know then it's not so entertaining, but a visualization that is very simple, and then you keep that like in a stable way. So then by that we make the mind very stable, then it's much easier to concentrate. If we constantly switch and kind of add something new, which of course the self-cherishing likes very much, because it's much more entertaining, then the mind cannot become stable, and it's very difficult to develop concentration. So by just holding, in a very simple way, the light from the medicine Buddha entering your body, and then slowly filling your body with the light, and we think at the same time all disease of body and mind are completely eliminated, then if at one point you decide to start to develop single-pointed concentration, then that will be good. So also while we recite the mantra, because it's not so terribly long, that's why we stretch before. You try to sit with the straight back. Yeah, you try to sit in meditation. This is a meditation session. This is why also I asked the lady to leave, so that we do this in the proper way. We prepare the mind for then later on do much longer meditation sessions. Yeah, so like that. It's good if it's quiet. You keep your body as quiet as possible. You keep your mind as quiet as possible by being simple but precise. That makes the mind silent and clear. but still so that it's meaningful in a certain way for you. If you start feeling bored, again, look at the self-cherishing who is bored, who wants something different, is not content with what it has, takes up all the space, starts to complain. Boredom is a clear sign of having a lot of desire. Desire prevents us from being content. When we are content, it's a quiet mind, but it's not a bored mind. So if you start feeling bored, if the mind starts to complain in the mantra recitation, check what's the root. What is this voice saying? Is this reasonable? Yeah? You decided to come here. At any point you can stop. This retreat is completely up to you, so there's no need to complain. Complaining just makes something difficult much worse. So you visualize that the Medicine Buddha, having granted your request, from his heart and holy body, infinite rays of white light pour down, completely filling your body from head to toe. Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugates. Then the light rays pour down twice more, each time filling your body with blissful, clean, clear light, which you absorb. So I think now, your body being clean, clear as a crystal, now you absorb the qualities that you would like to have. So there again, be very specific. We kind of create our own reality. So by being specific, by really knowing what we want, then we create that reality. Slowly, slowly, of course, not immediately. So you just see how, maybe you can switch the light, the color, you can see golden light coming, giving you all the qualities, if that feels more comfortable. Om Namo Bhagavate. And then you allow the light to completely dissolve any notion that we have of ourselves as a separate self, a separate me, a separate I. Just dissolve everything into this luminous space. It's ultimate truth, the Dharmakaya. So we can't stay there because there's no ultimate truth without conventional truth. So, but now we manifest out of compassion because we want to benefit others in the form of the Medicine Buddha. And at your heart appears a lotus and moon disk. Standing at the center of the moon disk is the blue syllable Om, surrounded by the syllables of the mantra. As we continue to recite the mantra, visualize rays of light radiating out in all directions from the syllable at your heart. The light rays pervade all sentient beings of all 6 realms. Through your great love, wishing them to have happiness, and through your great compassion, wishing them to be free from all suffering, they are purified of all diseases and afflictions due to spirits and their causes, all their negative karma and mental obscurations. Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanze. Then feel great joy and think, all sentient beings are transformed into the aspect of the Medicine Buddha Guru. How wonderful that I'm now able to lead all sentient beings into the Medicine Buddha's enlightenment. So we just visualize again, we've created a pure land. Everybody's body made out of light. Everybody's mind perfected, compassion and wisdom. And everybody using their body, speech and mind only to benefit others. Let go of all the ifs and buts. I know it's not like this, but we just visualize. By visualizing like this, we create the causes for this to be actualized. So just visualize. To the power of our practice, to the power of the fully enlightened minds that we have here present, when those two things come together, we can shift everything. Then we can do the dedication, page 10. Due to these merits, may I complete the ocean-like actions